Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Do you have tight shoulders? Did you wake up with a stiff neck? Have you been sitting at the computer more often? Well, this class will not only help you move better, but feel better. When we use the foam roller to loosen up the tension in the upper back, you also improve your posture. So you'll need 2 tennis balls in addition to that foam roller. If you like this class, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to loosen up that upper back and get ourselves in the neck and the shoulders and get ourselves moving. So the first thing we want to do though is see where our range of motion is so we can test it out to see our improvements. So level out your chin, sit up nice and tall, and then just turn your head and look to the right. Let your shoulders relax and just notice where the tension might be in the right or left side of the neck. And then very gently turn your head and look to the left. Notice if one side has more tension than the other. And then we're going to bring our head back to neutral, keeping that chin level. Go ahead and walk those right fingertips out to the side onto the floor, and then tilt your ear away from that hand towards the opposite shoulder. And just notice what you're feeling in the side of the neck. Don't forget to breathe. And then slowly go ahead and bring your head back to neutral. Release the arm and reach the left arm out. You're still sitting tall, and then you're going to drop that right ear to the right shoulder. And just feel that lengthening, feel where there's any tension going on. And then very slowly bring your head back to neutral. Excellent. Now let's test a rotation of the upper body. So just turn a little bit to your right, holding onto your right knee or right thigh, wherever is comfortable, with your left hand, and then turn your upper body. Use your right hand on the kickstand as a kickstand behind you and look as far back as you can. And then very slowly we're going to release, bring the head back to center, bring the body back, and switch sides. So now twist to the left. And again, notice where the tension is. Is it in the upper back? Or is your chest tight? Maybe you feel it down into the hips. And then we're going to come back to center. Now we're going to check one more range of motion. Let's check the arms. So reach the right arm up and see where, how does it feel here down into the rib cage and that shoulder, bringing it down. Test the left arm, reach it up, bring both arms up and notice the difference, maybe one side more than the other, and then bring those arms all the way down. Excellent, so now let's dive in. So grab that one tennis ball or lacrosse ball or racquetball, whatever you have, in your right hand. We're going to start on the left side. So I want you to place that tennis ball on the left side, right on top of the shoulder at the base of your neck. So it's not against your neck, but it's pretty close, right on that shoulder, right on the top. And then you're going to press down and roll the tennis ball on the shoulder to the back and the front of it, over that little top part. And just notice if it's tight there, if you have any tension. And I want you to find the middle spot, or maybe a little back behind the top lip there on that shoulder. Do a gentle press down. If you find like a trigger spot or a point that's a little sensitive, just pause there and then turn your head away from the tennis ball. Now when you're turning away, I want you to tilt your chin up slightly so you can maybe feel that stretch through the side of the neck. It might even go up into your ear or your jaw. It's all connected there. And then bring the head back and look towards that tennis ball, and then back to neutral. Good, bring the tennis ball now right in the middle of the top of that shoulder. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So you're on top, and then go back just slightly. You can even push your fingers there, that little soft spot right over the back. You're above that shoulder blade, on the back of that shoulder. And then just do a gentle press down and a tiny little circle rotation right there in that spot. And you don't want to have any pain. And then reverse your circle. Just massaging it out and finding any tender or tension spots in there. And then towards the outside edge of that soft spot might get into the bone there. Feel some spots there. So I want you to now press down gently, keep that chin level, spine tall, and turn your head to the right, turn it to the left, turn it back to center. Now drop your right ear to the right shoulder away from that tennis ball. And now gently lift the chin, and now draw the chin down and turn that chin slightly to your right. And notice the difference. And then bring that head back to neutral. Now you're going to take that tennis ball, and you're going to bring it down in front now of the shoulder, but towards the outside edge, right where your arm and your chest would connect, and press the tennis ball right there in the front of it. You can have your arm out or down, and I want you to draw little tiny circles right there, right on the edge of that shoulder. Almost like you're touching the bone there, but you're getting a little into the chest wall, a little bit of both. Excellent. Now we're going to draw that tennis ball, press down gently and draw it up and down. You're on the chest wall now. And as you go up and down, start to bring it across the chest wall, up and down, finding any spots, and then bring it back, up and down, pressing gently, and then bring it side to side across. So you're going across the muscle fibers, back and forth, just around that area. So a lot of times we get rounded, we're working in that computer, or we're just slouching and it gets tight in that chest. Start to draw big circles or little circles, finding those tender spots or trigger points, and then change direction. Now if you find a trigger point, any place that's a little sensitive, add just a tiny bit of pressure, hold it there, extend that left arm out to the side, and then circle the arm around and around. Change directions, the arm circles the other way, and then move that tennis ball, find another spot, and continue circling the arm, and then changing direction. Play around with where your head is located, so maybe you're level. Pushing down gently below the clavicle, that bone right there on the chest there on the left side, and turn maybe your head away. As you circle, you might feel a little more pull. Again, all connected. Circle, circle, almost done. Maybe move that tennis ball a little more into the chest wall, towards the center, maybe a little bit out. You got this. And then go ahead and release. Place that tennis ball gently on the floor, and then just open up the arm and turn your head away from the left arm, turn your palm towards the floor and lower the hand to the floor. Just get a little extra stretch there. Turn your head back to neutral and drop your right ear to the right shoulder, and then turn your thumb up on that left hand. Pull the hand gently back a little more. The left arm is straight. And then go ahead and release. Big shoulder roll. Excellent. Now we're going to go to the other side. So you're going to start in the base. Again, super close to the neck on the top of the shoulder. A little massage. Round and round. And if you find that spot, add a little tension. I turn that head away from that tennis ball and then back towards it. And back to neutral. And you're going to add a little pressure, hold it there, draw your left ear to the left shoulder. Let your right arm relax. Slightly bring your chin up, notice the difference. Maybe there's some tension there. And then bring your head back to neutral. So you can play around with the area on that whole top of that shoulder to see where you have that tension spot. Now you're moving it down. Top of the shoulder, a little behind that soft spot, right back in there. Push your finger there, and then massage that ball right there. Little tiny circles, massaging it. Make sure you go both directions, and then add pressure. Now, turn your head away, and then back towards it. Going back to neutral, left ear to left shoulder. And then slightly bring the chin up. Again, notice the difference. And then bring that chin down towards the chest on the left side. And then bring the head back to neutral. Excellent. Now we're going to bring that tennis ball right in front of the shoulder, right where the arm and the chest connect, right there. So your arm can be out or resting, little circles. So when we're releasing the upper neck and the back, we also want to make sure that chest is loose and it can open. We can really open up through that chest because a lot of times the muscles are short and tight because of posture, our lifestyle, sitting a lot, slouching, whether you're watching TV or working on the computer. Good, then you're going to start to draw that tennis ball gently up and down against that chest wall, massaging. Now on the right side, it might be a little more sensitive because we use the mouse. And you're going to find different areas on that right side because of the mouse, unless you're left-handed, and I don't know how if left-handed people use a mouse on the left side. Don't think so. So, but even if you are right or left-handed, you're going to have a side that's going to have more trigger points. Now draw that tennis ball gently across the chest wall, back and forth. Now remember, we're just doing this as gently that you can find little trigger points but not have any kind of sharp shooting pain. You don't want that. And then start to draw circles. And the more you massage this out with that tennis ball, it is going to start to loosen up and you're going to have more range of motion. So now find that tender spot and I want you to straighten out that right arm and start to circle it. So making sure you're staying below that clavicle, that bone on the chest there, going across that right side. Maybe do a little press down, turn your head away from the arm that's circling, change trigger spots and circle the arm the opposite way. Find a couple more spots, change direction of the arm. We always want to go both ways. Good, and last one. Very nice. Go ahead and put that tennis ball behind you. And let's do a couple shoulder rolls. And we want to make sure we stretch out the side just like we did before. So bringing that arm out to the side and then turn your head away. Bring it back and drop your left shoulder to the left ear. Walk the hand backwards a bit and turn that thumb up. You're just really stretching out through that side and the chest. And then we're going to bring the head back to neutral, release the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers. So as we interlace, gently press the palms together. We're never going to force it. I want you to sit tall and make sure your chin doesn't fall forward. Lining things up, pressing, maybe lifting the arms if that feels okay for you. Just getting a little extra stretch through that chest. And then look to the right. And then gently look to the left. Keep those shoulders pulled down, bringing the head back to neutral. And release. Let's do a couple big shoulder rolls with the elbows up. Now we're going to move in a little bit lower, and we did some of the front, so we're going to get the side and the back now. So we're going to start on the left side, so I want you to sit on your left hip, and you're going to have your hand, we're going to use the roller, hand in the armpit, and so you're going right below where the pinky would be, onto the middle, about the middle of the upper back, in alignment with the chest. Your elbow can go on the floor, your head resting in your hand. So be mindful of your rib cage. You don't want to pop a rib, so not too much pressure. You're going to start to gently roll forward towards your chest wall and then back into the back, gently rocking forward and back. And just be mindful of how much pressure you're putting here. You never want to have pain. Sometimes some of the ribs, they kind of float around. You don't want to pop a rib. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. I have done that before, but not I've never done it foam rolling. I've done it like sleeping or some crazy things. You just never know with the body. Now, if this is super painful and you have a hard roller, I recommend wrapping your roller with a towel. That will soften it. Be mindful to listen to your body. And it can change from day to day what your body's feeling. And then I want you to just gently move your body up and down, just about an inch. I'm still staying on my hips. I'm just moving it just enough to get a little extra massage into that tender area if it's tender for you, or just the lats and QL. Sorry, QL's down there, lats. I'm going to different parts of the body with muscles. We're not there yet. All right, so we're gonna slightly lean back, and I want you to roll that roller up into the armpit. All right, we're staying on that left side. Now I'm going to rock backwards into that upper shoulder blade area, and then forward into the armpit and chest wall. Now, contraindications, if you are missing lymph nodes, do not roll into that armpit or chest wall. Stay back here. Consult with your doctor about where you can go with it, but I would definitely avoid any areas that are missing lymph nodes if you've had them removed. And just stay back there because you can still get it. Your elbow comes off the floor when you roll back. And then you're going to roll just slightly forward and then just move your body gently up and down. Again, 1 inch. I'm not moving much. My elbow's off the floor. And then roll back towards your back. Bring that left elbow right on top of your back of your arm on the roller. Your head is still in your hand, so you never have a strain in your neck. And now you should gently roll north and south again, like to the top and bottom of the roller. You're barely moving. My hips stay on the floor. So you're just getting into the back of that shoulder. Now from here, I want you to roll side to side now, like towards the chest and then towards the back. Arm stays on that roller. So you're getting into maybe some tender spot, like up there in the upper rotator cuff area, supraspinatus. Just gentle roll. If it's super painful, ease off on the pressure. I never want you to have pain. When we have pain, our body tends to tense up, and you're just not going to get as much out of it if you're forcing it. All right, so we are done with that. So I want you to use the arm, bring yourself all the way up, give me a couple shoulder rolls. You might even feel a little relief already. Let's go to tabletop position. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take that arm, and I want you to slide it, like threading the needle, palm up, left arm, the one we just did, and lower yourself all the way to the floor. Now you can have your hips up. You can use your arm for balance. If you can't get your head on the floor, you can always go here. This is a variation. Or you can even go here and support your head. So again, depends on how far close to the floor you want to get. Some of you might want to even just squash down your hips and lower. So you just got lots of options there, but the key is everyone should be wiggling their left fingers as you stretch out that shoulder blade. Just really stretch it out. It feels so good. So after foam rolling, it's super important to stretch the tissue and the muscle and the fascia. Try to say fascia and muscle really fast, 10 times. It's very hard. Slowly come up, and again, release, big shoulder roll. Excellent. So let's sit up nice and tall just for a moment and check in with how we are feeling. So you might already feel some more blood flow, range of motion. Let's check our range of motion. Reach that left arm up. Now I want you to take that left arm, reach it over to the right. Bonus, grab hold of the left wrist and just gently pull. So that just helps again. So lengthen through that armpit, that area we just rolled. Let your head relax, and then go ahead and release it. Feel that whoosh as it hydrates all that area. Take that left arm up again. Feel your range of motion. Let's compare it. Bring the right side up. Whoa, what a difference. This is kind of sticky on that right side, right? Well, we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna switch now to the right. Excuse me. Stay on your right hip, and I want you to take that roller, again, hand on the armpit. So you're going right below that pinky finger if you're holding onto the armpit. So we're not quite in the armpit yet. Elbow on the floor, find that spot. Maybe this is plenty for you and just hang out here. Maybe rock on and off, massaging along. You're going east and west from the back to the chest wall, forward and back. Now we're on the right side. So if you are dominant in the right, you might be feeling a little more, let's say, sensations here, or tender spots. So just go easy with yourself. Now remember, the more you foam roll, the less you're going to have tender spots or issues. It gets a little easier every time. All right, and now forward and back, like north and south, up and down, just an inch, gently moving on that spot. So getting into those lats there, this scalenes, all the area that helps us with our posture and our movement. All right, so now we're moving up higher into that armpit area. So really getting up there. Let's start with our east and west. So rolling chest wall to back. Again, being mindful, same thing on this side. Lymph nodes missing, then we don't go into that area. Listening to your body. Now on the right side, as you roll back, you might be like, whoa, there's a spot there. So think about when you're using the mouse on the computer, it moves like this. Well, fascia tissue is connecting from the hand all the way up the back of the arm. They know it's one continuous thing up that tricep to that upper back. So when this, moving this or just right here in that thumb pad, it can get really tight and you're affecting all the nerves that run up in there. That's why you might be feeling it up there in that upper back area and that rotator cuff, because it's having to stabilize and move ever so slightly to move that wrist on that mouse. So, and then up and down, just a gentle north and south. So spend a little extra time on that right side because sometimes it can have a few more spots or need a little more attention. Then we're going to bring the elbow on top of the roller, still supporting the head, and then I want you to roll to the back and then back towards the elbow, so side to side, east and west, to the back towards the chest or the elbow. So that's getting that spot right up in there, back of that shoulder, and that arm, and then up and down. Lean towards the elbow as you go up and down, just an inch. I mean, it's not a big movement. So when I started out after, years ago, when I started with the foam roller after my master's program, my shoulders, my posture, my shoulders, it was a mess. It was a mess. I spend a lot of time at a desk and writing papers and all that. So it took me a long time. A couple minutes each day on the roller just to start to loosen up. All right, so we're about done there. So go ahead and come on up and have a seat. Oh, no, back to all fours. We got to stretch it under before we stretch overhead. Almost forgot that one. So take that right arm, and again, separate your knees, or you can keep your knees under your hips and hips up and lower down. Options on this side, same thing. You can be here, you can sink down into it. Maybe you use the roller. Just explore what works for your body. The key is to wiggle those right fingers and really get into that stretch. Oh, feel it nice and lengthening so that shoulder gets some more range of motion in the back. Posterior section of that shoulder. We're going to release, come all the way up. Now we get to have a seat. So sitting up tall. Feel that little whoosh. Take that right arm, let's reach it up. I already feel more range of motion. I can reach higher. Reach over to your left, grab hold of that right wrist and reach it. Feel a little different? Hopefully. If it's your first time foam rolling on that right shoulder, you might be like, wow, what a difference. It's amazing. So again, each time, don't give up. It takes your body time to adapt and to loosen up. We're gonna release that arm. Come on down, feel that little whoosh. That's what happens when it's getting hydrated. Take that right arm up, left arm up. Feel a little more even, a little balanced. We can reach higher and then go ahead and lower the arms back down. We're not done. We still have a lot of areas to get in the back and the upper back just to really loosen up. So let's test out our twist again. So just reach gently. Still, maybe you can move a little better in the upper back. Turn your head all the way to the right. Anyone look further back behind you? My neck is definitely moving better. How about yours? And then go ahead and rotate the other side. Look behind you. I'd love to hear in the comments how each section is progressing, how you're feeling. So moving on. So now what you're going to do is we're going to go to upper back. So we're going to bring that roller right about middle of the shoulder blades, hips on the floor, feet flat, and bring your fingertips behind your head, and they're not interlaced because when we do that we tend to crank. So we really want to lengthen through the neck, lift those hips. I want you to roll to the top of the shoulders and then back to middle of the back. And so people always say, where's the middle? Pretend like your belly button is coming out your backside. That is where you want to stop and then go back up. People always ask, can I roll my low back? That is up to you. It's usually not recommended. One, you have to think about some of the vital organs down there once you get past and lower, and also disc issues or things like that. Now, if that's something that you know that you're fine and you want to try it, I recommend checking with your doctor. If you see a chiropractor, then maybe they can help you out. So, all right, one more time. Now this time when you roll to the top, I want you to slightly, just very ever slightly, lean to the left and roll up and down that, just a little bit on that left side. And then tiny bit, basically I'm just shifting my knees slightly to the right as my body rolls up and down. And then I bring everything back to center. 2 more rolls up and down. You might get a natural chiropractic adjustment. Good, now we're going back to the top. 1 more. You're gonna bring your fingertips behind your head, pull your elbows together, tuck your chin in slightly. Don't forget to pull your belly in so you protect your low back. And then roll again, middle of the back and then all the way up. This is gonna help get the muscles along the spine without just makes them pop out a little bit more pronounced so you can really feel that. You want it to feel, this should feel good. If it does not feel good, then maybe you do need to consult your chiropractor or your doctor or a physical therapist. And then we're gonna lower the hips. I want you to stay up there about middle of the shoulder blades, open up the elbows again. Again, fingers wide, not interlaced. Let's just curve over the back of the roller, keeping the hips on the floor. Just see where your range of motion is. The head doesn't drop, it's still lengthened. We don't want to compress the discs in the back of the neck. And now breathe. Now if you find that you can't breathe and this is hurting, you might be too low on the shoulder blades. If you're too high, you might be able to not go very far. So just, again, explore what works for you. And just feel the chest expanding. Again, this really helps with posture. 1 more breath. Now you're going to roll after that breath all the way back towards the top so your elbows can go on that roller again. And you're supporting your head. I want you to drop both knees to your left and turn your head and look to the right. So nice little stretch here, and you might feel it in the chest if you're tight. Maybe it's in the hips. So as you can tell, it's all connected. Slowly bringing the knees up, and we're gonna drop the knees to the right and turn the head to the left. And notice the difference. Now maybe on this side you feel it more up in the chest wall. Maybe it's more in the thigh or the hip. And then we're slowly gonna come back to center. Excellent. Now you just take your time coming all the way up and then sit nice and tall for just for a moment. Again, let's check in. Now we're really gonna we only have a few more things to do, and we're gonna get deep into getting the release up here with tennis balls, but I gotta get 2 areas, glutes and quads, which really affect, believe it or not, our upper back. So I want you to first take a deep breath, and I want you to drop your chin to your chest, and I want you to just rest here for a moment and lengthen through the back of the neck. Feel the shoulders relax, and then slowly bring the head up. Slide the shoulders up to the ears, and then all the way back down. Now look over your right shoulder again. Anybody feel a difference? Oh, much looser, and then slowly turn and look to the left. Good, back to center. All right, so let's dive into the glutes. So you're gonna pop up on your roller. I want you to lean back on that left arm. We're not gonna spend a ton of time here, but all of this attaches down And the way your hips move, if your hips are super tight, guess what takes over? Your back. So we need to loosen things up so we get some mobility everywhere. So as you're rolling to the top and bottom of that glute, find any trigger points or tender spots. Things are loosening up, using your feet to move. Then go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And again, rolling it, flex that left foot. If you find a trigger spot or a tender spot, just pause on it and pull that knee up and down. Now, if it's too painful to pause on it, then just move past it and work your way there, like coming back again later today. Maybe you do it again tomorrow. And I've had certain knots in different, like I had a knot in my calf. It took 2 weeks to get rid of it. So that happens. Again, depends on what your activity level is, what you've done. Maybe you're super active. Maybe you've been sitting more, so you have a little more knots. It just depends. All right, that's it for that glute. So I want you to just sit in front of it, the roller, straighten out the legs, and we're gonna bend that left leg, the leg that we just rolled. So if you did the right, go ahead and do the right. Flex that foot, and just give it a little twist and a hug of that knee into the chest. You can use your arm or the roller for support. So the goal here is we're really stretching out that glute, and just notice where you can twist as we stretch. So we're still stretching out the chest, turning that head, keeping that chin level. Feel the belly pushing into the thigh and releasing. And we're gonna release that whole leg. Let's pop back up on that roller and do the other glute. I'm just gonna flip around here. So we're on the right side now. We're just gonna roll that right butt cheek all the way up and down. So you wanna keep it controlled, not go crazy fast. We don't wanna do super fast. It's slow and controlled. We're trying to breathe. Like I mentioned earlier, if we start to tense up, we aren't gonna get as much out of this process. If your roller is too hard, if you have a really stiff one, I would recommend looking for, there are different density rollers, so you could always find a softer one. Go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right thigh now, maybe flexing that foot and then rolling. If you find a spot, put that knee up and down. Might get a little hip pop. If you heard that, that was mine. My hip pops all the time when I roll my glutes. Again, because the very little, you got your piriformis in there, little muscles that help rotate your hip. So when they get tight, things get restrictive, and we don't want that. All right, so we're gonna be finished with that. Go and release, sit in front of your roller, straighten out your legs, and let's cross that right leg over, hug it in. So right side second, we might feel a little more tension, more tightness, more restrictive on that right side. If you are right dominant, let's relax the shoulders, sit up as tall as you can, see if we can get a little extra stretch and a twist. Flex that left ankle. Let's see if we can look behind ourselves a little bit further over that right shoulder, using the hand or the roller for support. And just breathe, feel the belly pushing into the thigh as you inhale and exhale. And then we're going to release. So now we're moving down and we're going to flip over. And I'll explain in a moment why we are doing the thighs for upper body. So those thigh muscles, they attach all the way up into the hips, which if they're super tight, they rotate, which pulls on the back. So we need to really make sure those thighs are loose. So place the hands on the floor. You're coming into a plank. The roller is above the knees. I want you to move yourself forward and back 1 inch. And the goal is to try to relax your legs as much as possible. I know, way easier said than done. And then walk your elbows back 1 inch and move yourself forward and back. So we're not going to spend a ton of time, but we just need to get a little bit of a massage going here on these thighs. If this is very challenging for you, I would recommend coming back and doing the thighs again multiple times. The bonus too of doing the thighs is it actually helps prevent injury and helps mobility of the knees, and maybe even can push off getting like a knee replacement in the future. I'm not saying it's going to stop it, but boy, maybe it can make it not happen as soon. and then a little bit further back. So you're working your way up that thigh by walking your elbows back and the roller moving up the thigh, forward and back. Once you get to the top, reach your arms as far forward as you can without arching your back. Pull the belly in and drag your body forward so the roller goes back to the top of the knees, and then push yourself back one more time, and then walk the elbows back, slide off the roller. See, simple. We got it done quick. Knees wide, feet together. And I want you to just melt into a child's pose. Try to get your belly between your thighs. You can even reach your arms on top of the roller to get an extra arm stretch. And stretch out those quads over the knees, like I said, to help mobility. And then come all the way up. So now I want you to push your roller just to the side for a moment and come all the way onto your belly. Draw your elbows underneath your shoulders and your fingertips flat, and just relax your toes. And I want you to lengthen through the upper body, almost like you're dragging yourself forward on your forearms. Pull your shoulders now away from your ears. And I don't want you to have any pinching in that low back. So be mindful of what you're feeling. Pull the belly in slightly, lengthen through the neck. And just as you breathe, breathe in through the nose. And then gently breathe out through the mouth like you're blowing through a straw. And feel the belly contract. And see if that makes a difference in anything going on in your low back. Now we're going to bend the right knee. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. So if it gets more challenging when you bend your knee, maybe your quads are super tight and your hips are pulling on them, lower the right leg and bend the left knee. And breathe in and out. Shoulders relaxed. Good, bring both legs up. Pretend like you're drawing yourself forward with your elbows. Lengthen. Blow out through your mouth like you're blowing a straw. And then release those legs. Excellent. Slide down to your belly and then push all the way back. Open up the knees. And now we're going to stretch out that low back. Reach those arms forward. And shift your body gently side to side. Good. So we got the glutes and the quads, which really do affect that upper back. So now we're going to get 2 tennis balls. We're just about done. So this one, of course, I saved the best for last. This is probably one of the most intense ones that we'll do, but it's amazing what it can do for your upper back and your mobility and your range of motion with your shoulders. So now I want you to take both tennis balls and you're going to place them together right. I'm going to turn and show you. So right here at the top of the shoulder blades, and try to push them down a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your back and do this. So you're going to take those 2 tennis balls, lift the upper body, try to keep them together and level. And then once you get there, just slide your body forward, like up towards the top of your mat, so your head can go on the floor. And the tennis balls are below the top of your shoulder blades now, but in between, but not all the way in the middle of them. They're a little bit on the higher side. So if you have it, so not in the middle, but just a little bit higher than the middle. And then if your head doesn't go on the floor, throw a pillow or a blanket under your head because you really want that neck support. I get a ponytail in the way. All right, so once you're there, knees are bent, feet are flat, hips are on the floor, so we support the back, belly is in, reach both arms up to the sky, palms facing in. Now this might already be pretty intense, so again, adjust where you need to, push more weight into your hips if you need to release tension. Take your right arm, reach it over your head, and your left arm by your hip without touching the floor, and then slowly rotate the opposite way. Left arm overhead, right hand to the hip. And just massage it out. Continue switching. Notice how slow you want to go. We don't want to rush, especially this one. Make it gentle. Couple more. Hopefully it's getting easier. You're reaching a little further each time. Last one. And then we're going to bring both hands back up to the sky, palms face in. Now you're going to take both hands and you're going to open wide to the side. And then when you bring them back up, you're going to crisscross them like you're giving yourself a hug. Remember which arm's on top, and then open wide very slowly. and then slowly bring them back up. Opposite arm on top this time, like you're giving yourself a hug, and then open it up. And each time it might get a little easier. Again, crossing, one arm on top, and then slowly open. And last time, crossing, opposite arm on top. And when we open, we're gonna leave the arms open and just breathe. So this might be, again, super intense. Take off the pressure if it's too intense, or take a break and stretch. I don't want you to have any kind of sharp pains or shooting pains. Turn your head to maybe one side. You could try the other side. And then you're gonna sweep your arms slowly up the side of your body, all the way overhead. And then slowly reach the arms down next to your body. Turn your palms down, and then use your palms and your feet to scoot yourself up your mat. So the tennis balls gently move down your spine, and they're staying together. And just move to like towards the bottom of the shoulder blades, but not past that. And then slide back down your mat so the tennis balls go up. Now you're gonna go all the way, almost to basically to the top of the shoulder blades, but not on the neck. So you're in the very back of your upper back, but below your neck. Good. Now take both hands up to the sky. And just relax here for a moment. Completely different area. Make adjustments if you need to. If you feel like the tennis balls move to a different spot, or you need them adjusted. And then slowly take the arms overhead. Now your arms might not go overhead with the tennis balls there. That's okay. Just work your way. So maybe you stay here, maybe you're only halfway. Maybe you can get your arms to the floor. Now, option is to gently press up to a bridge. If that's too intense, then don't go there. And then lower the hips back down. And then slowly release the hands down to the body. Pull the knees into the chest, and then roll off the side of the balls or straight up. Either way, we're gonna come all the way up. And we're gonna bend the knees. And place those tennis balls to the side. Feet flat, slide your hands under the knees, interlace the fingers or make a fist. Either works. I want you to tuck your chin and slide gently back and stretch out the area that we just rolled. And then slowly sit up nice and tall as you can. So you're gonna feel your legs pushing down on your arms so you can really stretch through this neck area and the shoulder area. Now while you're here, tuck the chin into alignment and turn your head to the right. Don't forget to take a breath in and then exhale, relax. On your relaxed part, twist and turn your head to the left. Take a breath in and then all the way back out. Turn back to center. Excellent. Go ahead and release your arms and your feet. Come back to a tall seated position. So this is where we want to get in and test out what we've improved. Draw the chin into alignment, find your posture. I bet you feel a little taller, the crown of the head to the sky. Draw your right arm out and draw your left ear to the left shoulder. Might have a little more range of motion. Might still feel stuff, but you can move your head now a little bit more. Bring your right hand to the knee and then tilt. As you reach your left arm out, tilt your right ear to the right shoulder. I'm definitely tighter on my left side when I tilt, but it's much better than it was. So hopefully you are too. And then back to center. Good, slide the shoulders up to the ears and then all the way back down. Now let's check our twist. Reach to the right, lengthen through the base of the spine, and then look and see how far back. Wow, anyone turning way more? I have much more flexibility in my upper body. I can see way further back. And then slowly release, and let's try the left side. Lift through the base first. As you twist, turn your head. See if you can move a little bit more. And then coming back to center. Let's take the right arm up and then the left. Notice the difference. Maybe interlace the fingers and lean to the right. Just a nice extra little bonus stretch up the side of the body. And then slowly transition to the other side. That feel good right through that armpit and that shoulder, hopefully. If you have shoulder impingements, you can just keep the arm down and stretch across. And then we're coming back to center, both hands one more time behind the back. Press the palms. Don't let your chin fall forward. Alignment. It's all about alignment. Breathing in and then release. Relax those shoulders. Wiggle the body. And then sit onto those sits bones, lengthen through the spine. Notice if you're leaning forward, see if you can lean back and sit taller. Hopefully you feel much better, you move better, and there's less tension in the neck and the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, all the way up, tap those fingers, exhale, chin to heart, hands to heart space, align that chin. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.